Hey, welcome back, everybody, to Evil's Comics. I'm Evil Mike, and this is going to be my review with a short little story. The review to DC Comics Batman 89, one of six. Um, the little backstory is kind of like my involvement with Batman 89, the movie came out when I was 9 years old in 89. I was a Batman fan before the movie. I remember watching 66 because with Adam West and Burt Ward, Cesar Romero as the original Joker. That was kind of like my origin story into Batman, and I watched a lot of that because they replayed the crickly crud out of it. It came on daytime, nighttime. I remember in the 80s and 90s, it was kind of like one of those shows you could turn on, like Gilligan's Island and some other shows that were just constantly on. So I watched I don't even know if I've seen Batman 66 in its entirety. I've watched a ton of it, especially when, because I remember watching with my grandparents and my parents and myself. But then comes, Batman 89. And at the time, it was just Batman. I remember, before they had came out with, a movie poster. It was like a magazine that had, kind of like a book, with just magazine size. And it was just nothing but magazine pictures from the first, you know, uh, Batman movie and stuff like that, and I was hyped for it. Batman to me was always dark and gritty. I remember, like, Batman 66, I really didn't love until I was older, and I could respect it. When I was growing up, it was kind of campy and jokey, and I didn't get it as a kid. I watched it because I liked a lot of the villains that were on there, the Riddler, Joker, but especially Catwoman. But I mean, as far as taking it seriously, and I read Batman growing up, ever since Batman was one of the first comics I can remember flipping through. And Batman the comic is always, at the time since I started reading in the 80s, it was already kind of dark. So kind of seeing 66 was like, what is this? Is Batman stuck in this world, weird multiverse? But so this Batman comes along, and I was all for it. It was dark. I mean, it was oddly, like very, what do you call it? Like they marketed heavy towards kids, and both Batman and Batman Returns, both movies, and Batman Forever and Batman Robin, all four of those original movies, they're very dark. And like and then the first Batman movie, he does kill in that movie, some of the henchmen, some of the factory workers at the Ace Chemical when he blows it up. And I'm not crucifying Batman. I loved it. I mean, I remember going to the theater. I remember my dad had for those who don't know, there was also something in the world going on with Warner Brothers that did the movie. And there was a certain particular famous rapper at the time that had done an album, and it had something to do with killing policemen. I'm not going to go into names or anything, but I have policemen in my family, and so Warner Brothers was banned on my father's side while I was growing up, so he would not take me to go see it. I had to wait till I was back with my mother. They're separated, but I remember going to the theater, and it was amazing. I had toys. I loved it to this day. I still believe it is a great watch, especially if you've never seen it. I love all those movies. Batman and Robin, Batman Forever, and Batman Returns, Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. I saw all of them in the theater. I will say, yeah, I'm even a fan of Batman and Robin. There's things of it, man, come on, but it's not one of my favorites. I remember seeing it in the theaters, and I was just like, man, that's what they gave us? Like, that was horrible. There's things I do love about it, like they gave us Bane, everybody forgets that, and he was actually, like, the cool-looking Bane. Now, I mean, he didn't say anything or do anything, but, so anyways, I've always been a Batman fan. I mean, I've seen every animated movie, I've played every game. If you know any of the Arkham series, I can actually like wreck house on challenges where I'm up in the million point. I actually have achievements to prove it. Evil Mike 218. Check out my achievements on Microsoft. Um, so, anyways, Batman 89. What it is basically you need to watch Batman and Batman Returns and maybe Batman Forever and Batman and Robin. Now, maybe people are going to say, no, you don't. No, you might. Because me reading it, there is a slight nod to a moment from Batman and Robin. There's another moment, like a nod to Batman Forever. So I wouldn't say you don't need to see him, but this book basically is a sequel to Batman and Batman Returns. It's basically saying that Batman Forever and Batman and Robin did not happen. This is continuing on with Michael Keaton as Batman, Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, Billy D. Williams as Harvey Dent. All these same actors that are in that movie are drawn and have likenesses. And honestly, when I read it, those are the voices that I used, and I didn't have to. I mean, I think it's one. I can still go back, and I still love that movie. Honestly, I remember seeing that scene, and everybody freaks over Christian Bale. Oh, I'm Batman. No, Michael Keaton. That scene set up with that thug in the beginning of the movie, and he's just holding that, and that guy's like, "Who are you?" And he's like, "I'm Batman." I mean, that was gold. Especially seeing that as a kid, and I've seen it as a grown man. But basically, that's what this is. This is set up in still that same world. Tim Burton. So it is. Right off the page, we are with Harvey Dent, and he is played. Just imagine that's Billy D. Williams. And every time I read it, that's kind of how he was like. I could read any line, and it was just I was thinking Lando Calrissian. But he is on a date with Barbara Gordon. Yep, he is dating Barbara Gordon. For the uninitiated, that is AKA Batgirl and Commissioner Gordon's daughter. Now, she is not Batgirl per se yet. They haven't done that yet. But hey. So they're on a date, and they're just they're just hanging out in Gotham. They're having this conversation. There's no just, hey, this is Harvey Dent and this is Barbara Gordon. Then they go to this, hey, it is set up on Halloween, October 31st, and they kind of show you Gotham on Halloween, and supposedly in the movies, if you remember, it was the mayor had stated that it wasn't safe. Halloween was kind of banned, and people are still out. There is a ton of Easter eggs in this book, not only to Batman specifically, like the Michael Keaton Batman, but to other like Tim Burton movies, and probably a lot of Nightmare Before Christmas. You see, Sally is being interviewed right here. You see Mars Attacks, Edward Scissorhand. We got, let's see, there was another one. We see the couple from Beetlejuice. There's more as it goes along, and they pop in and out, different characters from different Tim Burton, movies. A lot of Nightmare Before Christmas. They are setting up that they're in this world that because of what happened with Joker and the Batman, that they're also like regular people now that are dressing up as Batman and Joker, and they are running around either protecting the city or just wreaking havoc. And they show you that there is a gang of Jokers, and they're dressed just like from that first movie, and they're basically they're trying to rob a bank, and they came up with this helicopter plan. And this is kind of my the Batman and Robin, because it was kind of the same thing, or was it Batman Forever with the heist with the armored trucks or whatever, and Batman swoops in, and he basically it happens a little different because Batman crashes the helicopters, and the armored trucks end up crashing to the ground. So he damages not only the helicopter and damages the building, but he does save the money. And they do show you that while he was escaping, as he was like flying down, the cops and the criminals are trying to shoot down Batman, and he uses the classic giant penny to roll away. They do kind of show you that Billy D and Barbara were kind of like at the end of the day when all this went down, and he has finally made it down to the ground level, and he kind of ends up at the tail end of Batman and this Joker gang, the whole with the police stuff, and he is kind of like singled out by the Joker gang as they're running away, and Billy Dean is kind of being, Harvey Dent, I keep saying Billy Dean, but Harvey Dent is, he is being robbed in a back alley, and instead, like, he does the whole, like, flip a coin type thing, because if you don't know, Harvey Dent eventually becomes Two-Face, but they kind of show you that he already started using the coin, and he already has the double-sided coin. He tried using it on Barbara early on, but she already knew it was like a double-sided coin. They do go into Harvey Dent's backstory on where he picked it up in this universe, and it was like from his dad, and I'll get into that in a second. But back to this, he gives this robber the flip of the coin, and of course it's but he tells him, hey, if it's heads, you die. If it's tails, I'll let you live. And it's a double-sided coin with both heads. So, and they show up, blam, 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 and he walks around the corner before Barbara gets there, so Barbara doesn't see what happened to the guy, but Harvey tells Barbara that the guy just ran off, and he scared him with the gun, like bam, 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 run. We are led to think otherwise, that Harvey Dent probably killed that guy. They do kind of show off the Batmobile because Batman's fleeing the scene. They do set up this whole like scene where Batman makes it back to Bruce Bat Manor and stuff, and they show the next morning it's the next afternoon. Bruce is just waking up, and Harvey Dent is there to complain about the whole Batman and Joker situation, and not necessarily just pointed at Batman, kind of like, look what Batman has started now, people are running around in Batman clothes, but also to complain about how Batman did it. And Bruce tries to defend Batman without giving away that he is, Bruce and everything, Batman. And, Harvey keeps attacking, and Bruce even says, well, he saved the money, and Harvey's like, well, I mean, it was like millions of dollars of property damage, plus the damage to the stolen helicopter, plus, like, everybody in the helicopter died, and Batman was like, oh, and that's kind of this nice Michael Keaton panel right here. It kind of reminded me of Mr. Mom moment. If you haven't seen any of these movies, they're all good. Michael Keaton is a wonderful actor. But they kind of go into this where Harvey gets pissed off, and he ends up like leaving. And I forget the gentleman that plays Alfred, but I mean, they do this scene where Alfred tries talking to Batman, saying that like, Alfred, Harvey's not going to give up. What are you going to do? And Batman's like, I got a plan. I'm Batman. They also show that Harvey is not just because Harvey really showed up trying to get Bruce Wayne to like go after James Gordon, because James Gordon is somehow connected with Batman because the whole bat signal on top of the police academy. Bruce Wayne kind of tells him that he knows James, like the police commissioner, but at the same time he's not gonna like rat him out, and he can't because he's Batman, right? I mean, we also see that Harvey, isn't just stopping with Bruce Wayne after his him going after, because it's really about like Batman. He wants Batman to be upheld just like every other person, and he believes Batman is more of a menace type thing. they show you more of his background digging and stuff like that, and he's got this girl, and she's going through like the police evidence of everything they found, and it's like some of his batarangs. They do show this backstory where he goes and sees like, you know, his father in the poor side of town in Gotham, and it's kind of where he picked up the whole, you know, coin flipping the trick, you know, the double-sided coin, and even where he got the you know, maybe the Two-Face moniker, and his dad even calls him very gullible. But they go back to like present day, and it's Alfred and Alfred and Bruce, and they are kind of chilling at home. All of a sudden they see a different, you know, they see a different light in the sky, and it's a bat symbol with the X around it. And Batman quickly shows up to see what's going on, and it's Harvey and Bullock on top of the police, you know, department, and they're waiting for Batman to show up. Batman's kind of like hanging out in the building, you know, watching them. They got snipers and everything, waiting for Batman to show up. Batman kind of calls the commish, you know, James Gordon, to find out what's going on, and he kind of tells Batman that Harvey's on this like, you know, this raid, and Batman's like, yeah, I kind of know, and blah blah blah, and kind of fills Commissioner Gordon into what he's got going on. While he's up waiting up at the rooftops, Batman kind of hears some like gunshots that goes off. He quickly flies over here, and they see like a guy with a gun running along, and the cops and everything, and Batman's above him, and he's like, this guy's like, hey, and, you know, the cop's like, put your gun down, and he's like, whoa, I'm not the, he's like, I have the gun because somebody just robbed me at gunpoint, he ran off that way. So Batman, hearing this, he leaves them and he takes off after the supposed, you know, real criminal, and he sees a guy with you know, he's got like it looks to be like a briefcase at first, and then you find out that it's a guy that not only has just a baby, but it was just some diapers that he has. Batman comes in through the window, and he's like, hey, where's the cash, and why'd you rob the guy, where's the gun? And the guy's like, man, I don't know what that guy told you. He was like, I did rob him, but I just took you know, some food and the diapers. He was like, this is all I have. And he was like, well, where's the money? And the kid tells Batman that the you know, that the robber or whatever is right outside, and then all of a sudden the robber is all like, oh yeah, come outside, Batman. And Batman's like, huh? And they do show that as soon as Batman goes out, he is attacked by like a hooded costume person. They do not reveal who this costume person is or what they intend, but they do get the upper hand on Batman. He is, you know, in the surprise, he is kind of grappled off the I don't know what you call it, the fire escape patio deck thing there, I don't know. But Batman kind of like, you know, falls down, and the next thing we see is the cops are on the ground because they were already there due to the, you know, the whole situation, and that's kind of where this episode leaves off. For our first book, it was really good. It had amazing art in it. It does feel like that, you know, it's set in that universe. Like I said, there was tons of Easter eggs, so it wasn't just like, oh, I mean, there was a lot of love that went into this. You got that. If you hadn't noticed, there was another book that's coming out for people that are fan of the original, you know, Superman 78, and I think this is the same thing where it continues off of the second movie, and it looks like the villain will be Brainiac, so that could be kind of cool. But hey, this is my review for Batman89. I got some other reviews coming up. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit me up. Tell me what you got. Did you pick it up? Did you read it? What do you think? You love Batman? I love Batman. Alright guys, bye.